Okay, so let's build my Boros cycling, maybe with a splash of blue. So this is worth considering, and I have a triome and can consider playing Farfinder and perhaps one island to enable this mythos. But I'm not sure Farfinder will fit my deck, and maybe I won't have a place for it, and this mythos doesn't depend that much on this white and blue mana close, so it's just a good damage spell. So maybe if I don't want this sovereign, I think maybe I'm also not going to get out of my way to enable this mythos. And also this mythos is nice, but still, if I end up with Farfinder and an island, maybe I can look at my mana base and consider putting one swamp, but I don't think so, because just this one reason isn't enough, perhaps, to hurt my mana base like this. I have some cards to cut. I don't think I'm gonna play 2 mana cycler that I don't want to cast the main option, even if I have some blue sources, mana sources. So for now I will cut it. Maybe it will come back if I'm desperate for one more card with cycling, but I don't think this will happen. So it looks like a deck with some cycling payoffs, but maybe not that all-in cycling. We can call it a dedicated cycling deck, I think. Do I want to cut? Maybe weaponize the monsters. If I cycle a lot of cards, I won't build that good board presence, so but still creating some tokens with Rescuer and perhaps Skycut is a nice enabling of this weaponize the monsters enchantment. And here we have another cards creating tokens. But also I won't have a place for everything here, so perhaps cutting Sovereign and Farfinder is a way to go, and just focusing on my cycling plan. plus just some good aggressive creatures. And 19 creatures now, only 5 humans, so if I won't cut many creatures, and I don't think I will, this mutate creatures are enabled. I'm not sure I want to play them anyway. We will see. But the go wide strategy is enabled quite nicely. So Leozaur as just a good creature can stay, and Orcupard I think it's good enough too, because there will be some decks with a lot of 1 toughness, so it will be, I think it will always be decent and will overperform in some decks, and still playing Marmoset makes me want to keep all the decent mutate creatures. So Cloud Piercer is I think the worst of them, but still I want to play it. But what do I want to cut then? I'm not sure about this Mythos. It's a good card. It's we can say it's an insurance policy if my opponent gets an advantage on the board. But still, not playing with black mana can sometimes be tough if my opponent's best creature is a monster that mutated few times and is out of reach of most of my removal spells. Zenith Flare I think can kill many creatures if I want it to, if I need it to kill creatures and not just going after opponent's life total. But in such cases this will be I think it can be just not good enough in some spots, and they won't be that rare because I can have better board presence. I have a go wide deck myself, and sometimes if opponent has an advantage, then there can be one very good mutated creature that I need to kill and I won't be able to, and I don't want to go out of my way to enable a card that doesn't fit my deck that well anyway, so I'm not gonna play Farfinder and a Swamp for it, so I think I'm cutting this one, and I'm not sure about these weaponized monsters. I think I perhaps undervalue this card. I know it can win some games. I lost to it a few times, but I still can't make myself to play it. And it doesn't fit my main theme all that well. I have some go white payoffs that are also creatures, and maybe there will be games that I will prefer to cycle a lot of cards and not building that much board presence, so a creature is always a way to build a board presence if I don't have one, and weaponize some of the monsters is a dead card in such spots, because I don't have anything to sacrifice, and I don't want to start building my board presence with just playing enchantment that does nothing and waiting for creatures to come. So I think I'm cutting it. Well, now maybe let's count cards with cycling. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13. So 13 is, I think it's not bad. Those Zenith Flares should be good in this deck. I'm not that desperate to enable them to play Hampering Snare, but I don't want to cut any more spells with cycling too, so we got to look elsewhere. Maybe this go white creatures will have to go. Forbidden Friendship and regular Diosaur. Maybe this mutate package, the whole mutate package will go, because I prefer having good removal cards with cycling and cycling payoffs, and maybe dedicate myself to this strategy. And maybe this counting on Porky Parrot or killing with +2/+1 is too situational in my deck, and I can just focus on my main strategy, cycling and cycling payoffs, and support it with good removal, because I have good removal Mythos and 2 flame spills. I'm not even counting Zenith Flare, because it's a cycling payoff, not removal outside of this strategy that I'm putting just for being a good card. Officer is also nice. I'm not eager to cut it, but maybe it will happen if I'm in Prophecy. So let's see if I cut mutate package and Forbidden Friendship. I think I'm coming to a point where I can just cut lands, because cycling decks, I have 17 lands, and cycling decks can play even 13. Maybe I'm not that courageous. I have some cyclers that are good cards by themselves, but have cycling for even 3 mana, so 13 is too ambitious, and I have land that cycles, so 14, maybe even 15. I think I'm not gonna play islands. This can be in a rare situation that I want to cast it as a combat trick or something. Maybe they will come when I have Triumph, but I'm not adding islands just for this card. I think it would be ridiculous. So I have a small chance to play it when I need it and have a Triumph, but this is just a 1 mana cycler, enabler for many of my other cards, and maybe if my cycling cards aren't that cheap, so maybe I should just cut something other than the land and play 15 lands and remember that one of them cycles. But then we're coming to cutting something. I could cut Wolverine, but this Wolverine looks quite appealing now. 11 instant and sorceries combined. Many of them just cycle for, some of them for 1 mana, many of them for 2 mana, and Fire Prophecy just costs 2 mana, and it's a nice spell, so I'm gonna fill that graveyard, I think. And I don't want to cut the giant, I don't want to cut the removal, so maybe this officer will have to go. It's also a weird card to cut because it's just very good, and it's we can say that it's a pseudo removal. Perhaps I got better tappers here because I'm doing my thing, still cycling cards and still tapping creatures, and I got many cyclers, so I can count on them. So maybe that would be it, just cutting officer. Then I have many more red cards than white, and many white cards I think I'm gonna cycle. Well, maybe not many, because these two and this is the third. I think I still prefer to cast Rescuer and get cycling payoffs than just cycling it. But I have some double red in cards that and red mana in cards that I want to cycle, or if I cast them they have double red, so I'm talking about Sanctuary Smashers, and double red in a card that I just want to cast. So maybe at least 8 mountains, but perhaps 9 mountains and 5 plains. So that would leave me at 6 sources of white mana and 10 sources of red mana. But if I want to cycle Triumph sometimes, that leaves me with not that many. Sources of white mana, and this one can be safer, but will I want to double spell with red cards that many times, or will I have problems with casting Mythos this way? So I don't think so. I think this is just a safer proportion, and I don't need to change it that much. So I think I'm gonna go with this, and I'm starting my first game soon. So wish me luck, and let's see how this deck performs. It's quite strange. I cut many cards that I think are good. Farfinder doesn't fit the deck, but these mutate creatures are nice. Cloud Piercer may be the worst, but these two seem to fit my deck, but I have had to cut something anyway, and Officer I think is the best card I cut, and Mythos is a good card, but didn't fit my deck as well. So it's coming to this, and let's see how it performs. So see you in the next video.